some love. If you want the Rock Dominions ass to this ring, give me a hell yeah.
Oh, give me that hell yeah. Give me the yipper, and let's make it happen, Captain. I'm W.B. Ward.
And I am Chip Douglas.
I'm sorry, you're who?
Chip Douglas.
There, I knew if I got you to say it again, I'd get your level in here. Okay.
I'm always willing to introduce myself a second time.
Absolutely. Well, here we are on the eve of yet another pay-per-view. Well, kind of the eve. It's our show before the upcoming pay-per-view. And, of course, this pay-per-view, unless you live in a tree somewhere, is Extreme Rules. It's going to be held at Chicago's Allstate Arena. Some tickets are still available starting at $25. Absolutely no tickets are left that are $500 or higher.
The most extreme pay-per-view of the year.
It is. And, we've been bitching about, okay, are they really going to have any gimmick matches? Oh, boy, are they having gimmick matches. In fact, one of them is one I've been begging for.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it was just a matter of time.
Yes.
That was going to happen. So
now,
very interesting.
Before we get into our inevitable predictions, or otherwise known as how the both of us are going to look like complete morons after the pay-per-view.
Maybe.
There are a couple of things I've been wanting to bring up here as of late.
Okay.
And that concerns the one piece of equipment that virtually remains unchanged in the history of professional wrestling. Now, of course, WWE has brought many presentational landmarks to the art and to the industry. I bet you could name a few, like, the use of pyro.
Oh, okay.
Lighting effects, occasional illusions.
Right.
And very well done illusions too.
Right.
Like the lightning bolts and things like that. But can you think of the one piece of equipment that remains virtually unchanged?
The ring?
The ring. Except as of late. On one episode, I saw where there was an LED light board posted on the camera side of the ring. Now, it's only been on one episode so far of Raw, so I don't know if this is going to be a regular thing or not. But with the exception of last night's Raw, which was using a ring that is used whenever they do have a cage. If you've noticed, you've seen some little black holes in the ring posts in the corners.
Okay.
You know what that's for? Cameras. They have little GoPro type cameras that are actually inside the ring post of some of their rings.
Well,
now.
if you watch NXT, they actually have LED on the side of the rings.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd bring that up. Let's go ahead and get into the swing of things with this week's tweet of the week.
Here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I want a light board.
0.
What time is it, kids?
Oh! A light board will only way to turn you on.
Wouldn't take much. Yeah.
All right, this week's Tweet of the Week is brought to you by WB Crave Humor. It goes, WWE Extreme Rules will be the most violent pay-per-view of the year. But first, here's a Hulk Hogan cartoon.
Oh, I know. They actually did that.
I know.
They actually did that. Hey, one guy that I saw I don't know if I would call this a comeback or not. Fandango.
Oh, back to his original music?
Back to his original music and everything.
Like it matters.
I think that was a stroke of brilliance.
Wow.
They had a good thing going on with them. The audiences were just spontaneously erupting in his music. I mean, you would even see YouTube videos posted of people like in subways doing the Fandango music and chants. You can't buy better PR than that.
It reminds me of like when Ryback returned. Not so much like the social media aspect of it and the YouTube sensation of people doing the dance, but when the Ryback went back to his old music, the crowd just popped.
Oh yeah.
So I think the Fandango is the same thing, but Fandango has a better shot, really, because the fact that he does have that little dance.
And he's not booked into this week's pay-per-view. However, there could be a last-minute change getting ready to be made, which I think he would be the logical decision for it.
Right.
And I think we'll cover that here in just a moment. So
who's he dancing? Is it back with Summer Rae?
No, he's not dancing with anybody. He pretty much told Rosa in an episode to pretty much hit the bricks.
Oh, okay.
And he immediately jumped up on the announcer's table and started dancing solo.
Yeah.
Which kind of looked kind of queer, to tell you the truth. Nothing wrong with being gay. You know what I meant.
Rosa can come back to my place. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll take Rosa.
Yeah.
If it weren't for these damned allergies. Anyway, so where do we start on this card?
Well, I mean, I think one of the big things we have to point out is the fact that this is in Chicago. Chicago, Illinois, home of CM Punk.
And now
AJ Lee, the
Mrs.
recently
Punk.
retired AJ Lee. So it'll be interesting to see how many CM Punk chants we're going to have during the show Sunday night.
Wonder if we'll have at least one AJ Lee chant.
I doubt it. Because even when AJ Lee was out in the ring, they chanted CM Punk, which
That's
really
true. Well, she would inspire that.
Yeah.
It's her husband, for goodness sake.
Yeah, but still, I mean, CM Punk didn't like it. I know he's been on record to say, I'm not there. I'm not going to be there. Don't chant my name. Chant her damn name.
Yeah.
So let's start with the least interesting, really.
Oh gosh, the
tag team.
I guess your least interesting. Oh, it's not going to be the Diva Championship.
It's next. But
okay, your tag team. You're saying the tag team championship between New Day and Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. There is no way. I think that they cannot let New Day win.
At first I was going to lean that direction until you said that. But I do like the tag team of Tyson and Cesaro. I know New Day is on a little bit of a roll right now. It would make obvious sense. But, I don't know if you know this, but one of the Usos is out.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's out for about 6 months with injury. So there's going to have to be a tag team that steps up. I'm... Just for the sake of argument, I'm going to go and say Kid and Cesaro.
Okay.
I could very easily see New Day win because the fact that they have to do something, I
think they're still wanting. I still think they're wanting to sell New Day as faces.
They're trying to,
and it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. And I hate to say it, but the one wrestler on New Day that makes the whole thing look like a joke is the big guy.
Yeah, Langston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
doesn't fit.
And I hate to say that just because technically he's a very good wrestler, very good performer otherwise, but they started giving him this, what I call the Baptist minister spiel.
Yep.
And they're trying to have him clap along in rhythm. The guy's got the rhythm of a Catholic nun.
Yeah.
I mean, of a white Catholic nun, needless to say. I mean, the man just doesn't have it. And they're trying to make him fit a mold that he just doesn't fit in, and he just comes off looking like a clown.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that's for sure.
Well, let's see. So far tonight, I have offended homosexuals. I have offended the black community. Okay, got two of them checked off right there. Okay. All right, ready to go so I can piss off the women too?
I know, it's nice to air. It's been fun.
Okay. Okay, on to the Divas Championship. These two bitches.
There we go.
I was just
said bitches earlier in the show too.
Go ahead and start this off right.
We're going to rate this show PG-13.
I'm going to have to. Okay. I got to go with Paige on this one.
I'm going to agree.
I had a feeling you would.
Yeah.
It's only because you got the hots for that lady.
I love Paige.
Paige is a good performer. I just think the Bellas have seen their day.
Yeah.
I really do. I just don't think there's a whole lot left. And besides, they're getting ready to leave the WWE.
That's true.
FYI,
I mean, speaking of divas, I'm rabbit trailing here. But I was on YouTube, and I've been on YouTube kick for probably like a couple months now, and just random videos is what I watch.
Right.
I mean, everything from practical jokes to wrestling stuff. I mean, I watch it all. And I saw a YouTube video. And it was like top 10 or 10 WWE divas that you didn't know did porn.
Really? Please tell.
I was so shocked at some of the names. One of Candice Michelle. Do you remember her?
Yes, I remember, and yes, I've seen some of. Well, I mean, I've heard that she's done that,
or not. Maybe might not have done porn, but have done porn. Some kind of.
No, she's done porn.
Yeah, I know she has.
Yes.
Yeah, they mentioned that. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing one of us two have.
Yeah, and I got to tell you think her WWE performances sucked.
But Mickie James.
Yes, I've seen. Well, I've heard about that too.
So those are just two that I just was shocked about. The other one does,
and of course,
I knew about.
And of course, we knew China.
Of course. I mean, that's
Yeah.
an obvious one.
That girl's-
Sunny's done some porno.
Sonny has?
Yeah, she does live exotic shows now on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, you pay.
On Twitter? Wait a minute. How do you do an exotic show on Twitter?
Well, she broadcasts on Twitter.
I wouldn't brag about that because everything on Twitter is short.
Exactly. So, I can't remember the rest of them, but those are just the two that really kind of jumped out to me.
Man, as far as China's concerned, she's had more hands up her dress than Miss Piggy.
Oh, God, man.
Okay.
I'm sorry to get off the rabbit trail. I just thought about that.
One of the most bizarre of all the gimmick matches this week has to be between Ziggler and Sheamus. This is the first time I've seen this angle done in quite a while in WWE. They're doing the Kiss My Arse match. I heard about it last week as a rumor.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, quite frankly, surprised that they're actually going to do this. But whoever wins, the other one gets his arse kissed by the loser.
That's so weird.
It is. Do you remember who was involved in the last Kiss My Ass match?
I think it's McMahon, wasn't it?
Yeah, Vince McMahon was the one whose butt was kissed.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to...
I think JR did it one time.
I think JR did, yeah. I think JR did. I think that was right. Now I'm going to have to go with Ziggler on this one, but only because I know they're trying to push Ziggler quite a bit. On the other hand, though, I do know that Sheamus needs a push since he just came back.
See, that's going to be my argument. That's going to be my kind of argument. It's the fact that Sheamus needs a push.
He does.
He just came back as this, good heel. I like his look. I like his attitude. I think he's bringing back kind of an old school Mystique bad guy.
I haven't seen a haircut that bad since the Red Rooster.
Oh my gosh! But it plays off well. I mean, at least,
it does.
At least he accepts it and he works it, unlike Taylor did. So I'm gonna say Sheamus, just because of the fact that I think he needs the bigger push right now than Dolph Ziggler. I can see Sheamus being pushed, definitely in the Intercontinental title picture, but also possibly if they're looking to take Rollins out, put it on the face, possibly the title picture for the world title.
Yep, that very well could be. I can see a lot of good coming of this match as far as future storylines are concerned for both wrestlers involved.
Absolutely.
Regardless as to who wins or who loses. I really don't think we're going to see any body part being kissed, though.
No.
I really don't. Let's go ahead and get this next match out of the way because, quite frankly...
WWE could actually be kind of ribbing Ziggler in this because, Ziggler's been very vocal on social media for a long time just about his unhappiness with his lack of pushes. Do you think possibly this could be WWE kind of firing back at him?
Might be. May be. I mean, I would hate to think that they would stoop that low.
Just thinking out loud, really.
And within the corporate world, hey, anything is possible.
Happen, man.
Anything is possible. There's one match we probably should have left in the boring category, and that's the match between Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. This almost seems like it was put together as an afterthought. Doesn't really seem like a whole lot of planning went into this. And the part of the reason I'm saying that is because of the stipulation of the match. The stipulation is just simply a Chicago street fight, which is virtually a no-holds-barred match.
Right.
Falls count anywhere in the ring or in the arena. No rules, no disqualifications.
Now, I think this could be the match to steal the show, though.
You think?
I really think so. I think we're going to see Ambrose and Harper just really just go, man. I mean, they're two guys that just really kind of throw caution to the wind, and they both have history together of doing extreme matches in the independent circuit. So I can see these guys just going everywhere and going all out in this match. I can see this being the match that steals the show. That's just my opinion. But at the end of the day, I will say that Ambrose wins.
In my and surprised with my earlier opinions, I'm going to have to disagree with you, and I'm going with Harper.
Okay.
And if nothing else, it's just to keep myself being interesting. Right. I don't really know.
Are you not interested in this match at all?
I wouldn't go quite that far, but man, I'm borderline. And that's only because they just didn't really. I just got the feeling that they decided on that match that day when they walked into the arena for Monday Night Raw. Well, to me, it just seemed like somebody sat down and said, "Hey, let's do this." And
they were just on most of these, to be honest.
That may be, but at least some of these were in the makings for at least the last few weeks, anyway.
Right.
I mean, this one was just hatched seemingly at the last minute.
Right.
And even though you could put the New Day and Cesaro and Tyson Kidd match in that same category, I think actually that one probably had a little bit more of a genesis to it, in as much as I'm thinking they're probably going to use that to open the show. They're probably going to use that as a pre-show match.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I'm thinking. At least if they follow along with the formulas that they have done so far with WrestleMania. Okay, so far our predictions are for the Divas Championship. I am saying we are both agreed on Paige.
Right.
For the butt kissing match, I'm going for Ziggler. You're going for Sheamus. For the Ambrose and Harper Chicago Street Fight, I'm going with Harper, you're going with Ambrose. And for the Tag Team Championship, what we were just talking about, I'm going with New Day on this one, and you're going to side on Tyson and Cesaro for that. So it'll be interesting to see how we come out ahead on those. Now, the bigger ones, the bigger matches coming up, among which would include Roman Reigns and Big Show.
Yep. Last man standing match, right?
Yeah, it's a last man standing where I believe if I remember the rules right, yeah, it's a 10 count for if somebody cannot respond to a 10 count, the other person wins. With the kind of devastation that Big Show showed Roman Reigns in London, I think
that was brutal.
I think it's only natural Roman Reigns is going to come back.
Right. I think it's kind of obvious here. To me, this is just kind of a no-brainer pick. You had to start building Reigns back up, because he is the one that got really beaten at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So you have to build him back up, give him a couple pay-per-views underneath his belt, and then possibly see him back in the title picture with Seth Rollins. So yes, I'm gonna say Reigns on this one. Decent build-up. I'm kind of really critical of Big Show at times. Just because of the fact that I think he's better as a special attraction more than a all-the-time performer. I think he works more effectively if they kind of just used him almost like a Brock Lesnar schedule, not so much an all-the-time type of talent.
Right. Now, how the hell do we predict this next match, which may in fact not even... Oh, I'm going with Reigns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going with Reigns. I think we both agreed on that.
Okay.
How the hell do we predict the Bryant Bad News Barrett match when in fact it may not even take place?
I know.
What's the matter with Bryant?
No one really knows. It's kind of hush-hush. People were saying concussion. And then some people said, no, it's not true. No one really knows what's wrong. He was sent home from the European part of the tour.
Yeah.
And probably to get healed. I think they're just taking precautionary measures for the pay-per-view. Concussion really does make sense.
Given the line of work, yeah.
Right. And so it just really takes time for it to heal. And man, that's a hard, tough call.
I'm going to abstain from this prediction.
You're going to abstain?
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to abstain from this because it's too early to tell. Because we're recording this show on Wednesday night.
Yep.
And anything could happen between now and Sunday. If in fact they do put anybody in that match, I'm going to think it's going to be Fandango.
I don't know about that.
Well, it's going to be about the only slot they can slide him into.
Right.
Not unless they concoct another match at the last minute.
Maybe Adrian Neville.
Maybe.
Start giving him a push.
Maybe because he's been showing some decent...
So now if they do that, do they go ahead and just strip Bryant of the title?
Again?
Yeah.
Man, that guy's been stripped more times than China.
I know. But you really have to think about it. I mean, you just can't put Adrian Neville in the match, and I guess you could, but I think the fact that you're building this as an IC title match.
Well, and of course too, they can also say that whoever wins this becomes the number one contender, which would just essentially be putting the screws to Bad News Barrett if they did that. So I mean, there's no real easy way out of this.
No, it's not at all. It's a hard situation, and it really sucks as a fans just because of the fact that we don't know, but still at the same time we understand why they are doing it, because they really want to wait until the last minute to make sure that he can go.
Well, just to borrow a piece of the storyline, what do you think would be best for business?
What's best for business?
See, that's a tough call.
It's a tough call. I mean, if it was me, I would go all the way to the last hour. I would go all the way to Sunday. Do it if he does have a concussion, which to me makes a lot of sense. Then you go ahead and just do concussion protocols on Sunday to see if he can pass it, and if he can't, then It's unfortunate, but I'd go ahead and just strip him.
Just strip the title at that point?
The title, and then put someone else in this place, like a Neville or Fandango. Sure, I mean, why not?
You know, I wonder if there may be some legal stipulations here, too, because undoubtedly he has some kind of contract.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And they have to follow concussion protocols. It's, you know, with the science that's going along with it, with the brain, how much damage it took. I mean, a lot of the Chris Benoit incident is going based off the fact that, you know, of repeat concussions that weren't taken care of properly.
Yeah.
So that's why I really think that this is falling on that.
Okay. A big match is coming up this Sunday night. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins in a cage match. They're saying the RKO is going to be banned. I think Randy Orton is gearing up his kicking shoe. I think we're going to see the return of that. But to me, in my ballpark, what makes this a big match is what's happening with Kane. He's going to be the official gate watcher, and I think that puts an interesting twist on the entire thing. I can see Kane showing assistance, not to Rollins, but I really believe Randy Orton will come out the victor on this one.
It's tough to say. This could go a couple different directions. This could go like exactly what you said, to where Kane's will turn his back on his authority and then go that way. Or I could also see it going as Kane is just playing the crowd the whole time and actually still with the authority. And so that way Rollins wins. I think the RKO ban is really... I don't kind of like that. Only reason why is because you know that WBE has banned permanently Seth Rollins' finishing move.
Which was?
The curb stomp.
They did?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they officially banned it. He cannot use that anymore, period. Just because due to the high-risk injuries. Which goes to tell me that maybe possibly the Daniel Bryan injury / concussion might have been caused from Seth Rollins.
Very possible.
Banned it. But either way, we have to see what kind of finishing move Seth Rollins has now. I'm gonna stick with Rollins. I think it's hard for me to see him get beaten anytime soon after winning at WrestleMania. So I'm gonna say Rollins. Okay. Don't really know how they're gonna twist this, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe have a new monster heel join the authority. Maybe someone like Sheamus, when he comes victorious with Dolph Ziggler, come out, beat up Kane, and start a rivalry with Randy Orton or something, or with Kane. So we'll see.
You know, you've said in the past that you wonder sometimes if WWE Creative listens to this show from time to time.
Right, we always make that little pun.
With this next match, though, I really have to question. You and I have been moaning and groaning for some time about some of the old gimmicks that have not been there. And one of the things that I've said in particular was the old-fashioned bull rope match.
Right.
They're coming up with something very similar to that, where two wrestlers are bound together, and in order to win the match, one wrestler has to make a consecutive rotation around the ring, touching all four corner posts in one movement.
Right.
Whoever does that first will win. And this, of course, is the Russian chain match between John Cena and Rusev. And there's something else possible going to happen during this match that even I've been complaining about. I haven't really been complaining, but I've been mentioning that I think it would be a good thing and a good time for the WWE to come back to their roots. And that was to do an old-fashioned match with juicing or blading, depending on what part of the country you're in.
Right.
I don't see how this match can get away without it.
No, I think this is one. It didn't. Well, the cage match could too.
Cage match. Well, yeah, but they've been having cage matches with no apparent injuries, and I always kind of thought, what the hell?
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is a prime example of one. It's good to see it come back. I think both Cena and Rusev are going to really come out well in this one, because doing a fourth course post match, you can really play it very slow.
Oh yeah,
and very mischievous at the same time. And I've always liked that about that kind of match. As far as prediction goes, I don't think there's a way that Cena doesn't win. So I'm saying Cena all the way.
I'm going to have to go with you on that one myself. I think Cena has to be the winner just because of the upcoming matches, and even leading up this early up to WrestleMania of next year.
Right.
I think Cena's going to have to be the winner on this one just for that. Rusev is going to have a nice showing, and I think even losing this match, they can still bilk some storyline for Rusev after all this is said and done. But I got to go with you on this one. I think it's got to be Cena. It's going to be Cena all the way.
I think you can have Rusev lose, but still look good.
Oh, yeah, on a 4-corner match?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can easily have Rusev, John Cena picks up hits all 3 corners, Rusev gets up, and Cena runs after him, and then, Rusev somehow throws him into the other corner or tosses him into the corner. There's very different ways you go with this, where he still looks good with losing. By
the way, and I'm not going to change my prediction. I'm already locked in. I'm predicting Cena is going to win. But just to give you another alternate ending on this, and this does sound like something that would actually come from WWE Creative. Let's say that somehow or another, Rusev, in the course of the match, takes a wild swing at Cena with a chain and winds up knocking Lana off the apron.
Yeah.
Cena goes out to take care of her, while Rusev comes out and just knocks him out cold and drags him back into the ring. And because of Lana, Rusev is able to make the trip around the ring.
Right. While
Lana's laying there in her own pool of blood.
Right.
That would be something new, to have somebody like that have one of their beauties get bladed.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be something new. Man. I could see that happening. I don't
know if they can get away with that, but that would be interesting.
I think they would get a lot of complaints, but I think that they'd get an awful lot of subscribers out of that.
Right.
Because, back when I was in radio, and I am not trying to make a joke here, we actually had a sign in the newsroom in one of the radio stations I worked at, and I don't want to say which one it is because it was a pretty big station here in Tulsa. But there was a sign in the newsroom that said, "If it bleeds, it leads." And let's just face the facts. The more gruesome the story is, the more attention it's going to get on with the general public. Sure. And now that we're just streaming this on the internet, using social media like crazy, people would share that left and right.
So speaking of subscribers,
yes.
It's another free month of WWE Network once again.
Only for new subscribers.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't read the fine print.
It is strictly for new subscribers. And I'm going to voice my complaint on that. Because I understand they have to dangle some kind of carrot, but they're going to need to start dangling carrots to keep people's business too.
Right. Well, I think just an overall perspective of WWE Network right now, I think they've done a decent job right now because of the fact that they add old Attitude shows. And so you are literally, especially if you're a Monday Night Wars fan like I am, you're literally able to watch the Nitro and then watch the Raw. So basically, for me, when I was a teenager in high school, I could relive my teenage Monday nights. Have my buddy come over, we'd have popcorn and just have a wrestling night. And that was the most exciting thing for me for the whole week, really. Not much of anything else, except for just Monday night wrestlings and Thursday nights.
Now, do they, on the WWE Network, do they ever show any of the real classic matches, like out of the Sportatorium in Dallas with the WWCW?
Oh, absolutely. They have a whole section of it. If you go to the Vault section, they have old WCCW TV shows.
I'm going to have to look through that and see if I can find one with me in it.
Oh, that'd be so interesting.
I would be interested in seeing that too.
What you think about the years? What years could it have been?
Gosh, it would have been back in the 80s.
Well, I figured that much.
That much. I mean, it would have had to have been between 1985 to 1990.
Okay.
No later than 89, I'll say. I don't think it was in the 90s at all.
And that way you can sue for royalties.
Hey.
Just saying, some of the wrestlers have done it. I don't know if you actually win, but...
Hey.
Were you involved? Did you do the re-announcing of TV shows?
I had a couple under my belt, yeah.
Okay.
Sure did.
I'm curious about that myself.
But because there were sometimes, it was rare, but there were sometimes they brought cameras on the road with them.
Right.
And I was never down at the Sportatorium, though.
Okay.
But sometimes when they would come into, I only was ring announced for them when they were in Oklahoma.
Right.
And occasionally they would have a camera crew there. So I'm going to, oops, about knocked over my microphone. I'm going to have to do a little bit of homework. Okay.
That'd be cool.
Tune in, WWE Network, this coming Sunday night. Do you know what the airtime is? Is it 7 Eastern?
Yes.
7 Eastern.
Would that make it 6 Central?
Yes.
It'd be 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
8 Eastern, 7 Central. And that would make it 6 o'clock Mountain and 5 o'clock on the West Coast. On the left coast, as Rush Limbaugh would say. So get up there, go.
Now we just offended the liberals. Good job.
Yes, you're quite welcome. That's all I've been defending all so long. Well, meanwhile, we'll compare notes this time next week on this show that we call SCI.
That was